You're going to play to about 55,000 people over this weekend with these 4 shows, which is about what you would play to if you did one night at the Superdome across the street. So, what's your philosophy in terms of playing these arenas as opposed to working a lot less and playing stadiums?
I like the when it gets personal. I like the smaller. Our stage is also built for it. We play 360 from an old Billy Joel Live in Long Island concert that I saw when I was a kid. We played 360 since day one. That's since we got out of bars. So I enjoy it. It makes it more of a personal experience. And to tell you the truth, it's probably more economic to play 4 nights in an arena than it is to do a stadium show, because the production is so huge in a stadium show. And you get 1 shot at it. Here, you get 4 shots at it. So, and here, there's going to be people that are sweet enough, I'm about to say crazy, sweet enough to come to all 4. And so it really pushes you to make each show different. And that's why I like indoor a lot. And you don't have to deal with weather, so I like that a lot.
So you vary the set list for each and 4
Oh,
shows?
you betcha. Because there's going to be some people coming. So there are songs you cannot get out of here without playing. Oh, they'll be waiting for you at the bus. So there are those songs, and you must do those. And then, and we are fortunate enough, if this sounds egotistical, forgive me, we're fortunate enough to have a pretty good list of those songs that we have to play. But there's always a space. Someone will bring a sign. There'll be a moment that you can make it different and make it its own. Everybody good? Miss Nancy, yes, ma'am.
What's it been like to come back? Are you surprised that people waited and
Stunned.
the way that they're showing up?
Stunned. When you walked away from this business, the greatest gift I've ever been given in my life from God and the people was a chance to raise my babies. That's it. The second greatest gift I've ever been given was a chance to get to do this again. But at some point, you know, we're down to 1 child in the house about 2 years ago, and the house is a morgue. It's quiet. And Miss Sherwood goes, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "I don't know." And she goes, "Would you ever think about touring again?" I couldn't believe she said it, you know. And I said, "Well, hell yeah, I would, but what if nobody shows up?" You know, and so at some point you have to put your hat in the ring, and you have to risk being embarrassed. And Chicago was the opening city, and they answered the call very, very sweetly in Chicago, and every city has continued that tradition. We feel very lucky.
Garth, Ryan Ockham from Fox 8.
Hey, Ryan.
You know, when you've been gone for a while and you come back and you're doing 4 shows in 3 days, how's your body keep up with that, man? I mean, you're 53 now, so.
Yeah, 53, and you know, I'm probably weighing in about 250 right now, which is not my touring weight. So it's they take it out of you. But the truth is, it's just fun, and so they let me be me. That's what I love about it. We just pulled out of Houston. We're right in the middle of all songs calling Baton Rouge. I just totally go blank. I'm singing the chorus to the verse melody, and people are looking at me because they're singing the right words, you know. And but that's kind of how they let you be. They just let you be you. So I'm hoping these people tonight will come to have fun, know that they're going to see all the mistakes and all. And hopefully at the end of the night, that'll make us closer, if that's possible, you know. It's funny how sometimes that happens. So when you go out there with the confidence that people are just going to come here to have a good time, then you kind of get to go and relax. We'll all be nervous as hell, because it's like a boxing match. You'll spend the first 15 minutes kind of trying to get to know each other, seeing what kind of crowd you're going to do, and if you're going to have to work it all. And I have a feeling here I'm not going to have to work at all. I mean, this is going to be fun. I'm hoping my job is to catch up. That's what I'm hoping. I hope they come totally way ahead of me. I hope they kick my ass all over the place tonight, and because that'd be a fun way to start this run.
I'm going to interrupt. Trisha.
Hey, Miss Jordan.
Oh, hi. See what happened to my show?
Doing good?
Sorry, I'm later than him. What I miss? You're talking about how great I am and how wonderful I am.
Nice shoes.
Thank you very much. Tennis shoes.
I told them that our history here is not that much. We played all in Louisiana, but I'm not sure about New Orleans. And I told them that one of your favorite places to play in the world is right here.
House of Blues.
Yeah.
Slanted stage, you feel like you're going to go right off into the crowd. And it's awesome. I love it because just the energy in the room. I mean, I played a lot of clubs. I played a lot of small theaters. there's something about this particular House of Blues that is so memorable. So I love it. I love New Orleans.
What I love about the statement that she makes, and just so you'll know she's sincere, we're talking to a woman that's played stadiums, she's played clubs, she's played theaters, everything in between, invited by Pavarotti to fly across to see them in Italy. I mean, this woman's been all over the world, and still continue. If she does a tour, the House of Blues in New Orleans is always on that tour, no matter what. So that's a pretty sneaking. I know from an entertainer's part myself, that's a heavy compliment to a place. Yes, sir.
James Gilmore with WTG Tiger from 100.7 Baton Rouge.
Hey, James.
And of course, Baton Rouge, calling Baton Rouge, you were talking about you love to play it. What are the odds that we're ever going to hear it played, maybe in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge?
Well, I wouldn't know. I hear, rumor has it that it's played every home game before the thing anyway, and I hate to screw it up, because we work hard on that recording to get it just right, kind of thing. So I love it. I get to see it on YouTube. I get to see the whole place erupt and go up, so it's pretty cool. I just hope, like I said, with Houston last week, I hope I get the words right this week, because this is the one place you want to go. Favorite song, hands down, to perform. It's always a question. I'll ask at this press conference. It's called Baton Rouge. Always is. Just fun. Problem is, like all the great things in life, it's over before you want it to be. Kind of thing. It's just one of those songs that it just comes in, it's gone. I could do it 3 or 4 times a night. Great play. Great song.
You should tell the story about playing Baton Rouge when you were doing the wind shows and when you were the band with the acoustic guitar, and everybody would always yell out for Baton Rouge. I'm not meaning to be like asking a question, but you should tell that story. It's a good one.
The problem is, I'll be honest tonight and tell the people this. I use the guitar to hide my gut. That's the whole reason why I have it. You pay other people to play it. But on Baton Rouge, they actually let me play an electric. And it's never on. But I'm playing the shit out of it.
Garth, Sam McGuire, WYNK.
How have you been, big man? It's great talking to you.
It's awesome seeing you and Trish both. It really is. So, how do y'all come up with your set list? I mean, if you're going to have 4 shows, you say they're going to be different. How do you mix and mingle? What songs you're going to sing? All that good stuff.
For me, I mean, I come out in the middle of the show and do my set. So my set's a little, in the middle of, it's kind of like a Garth sandwich on either side. So there's a list, but it can change. And mine can, I guess Garth can probably vary a little bit more than mine, but I can't imagine doing a show and not doing She's in Love with a Boy or How Do I Live. But it has started to happen where I'll see a sign out in the crowd for something that's not on the list, and we'll do it. The great thing about combining our bands is that I've got 2 of my guys out there playing with us who've been playing with me for 19 and 20 years, so they know all the songs. So, I mean, they will look at me like, really? You want to pull that one out? But if somebody pulls up a song, we'll at least do a piece of it, so we get a chance to kind of change it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And these guys, you know the guys, Sam. You knew him from days gone by. So Mattingly's their fiddle player.
Right.
He's the guy that's been with us the shortest, and he's been here 21 years. So he's these guys know. So if we're going to do an audible, if we got a skeleton list, which is more like a guideline, the only thing on that list I promise my band and crew I'll do is the first one. After that, we'll see.
It's up.
Right. So intros and stuff, you'll start talking. If you're going to do an audible, you'll introduce this song to where they all pick up on going, oh, I know what song he's talking about before we ever start. Hopefully, so that's one of the things.
Good.
But we'll see. That's the fun thing about live, man. Fun thing about live is you go out there and you just let it go. People know that they're coming to see live, so anything can happen, and they're very forgiving. They just come here to have fun. Yes, sir.
Do you guys critique each other's performances at the end of the night? Do you talk about pros and cons, what went well on the show, what didn't?
Do we critique them?
Each other's performance.
Right,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
each other?
Yeah.
I critique her all the time, but I never say a word.
And I do, but I just talk behind your back a lot, so you don't have to
Exactly.
We talk about how the crowd felt to both of us, the things in the show that we thought were, man, that was a cool moment. I mean, I don't go back. I mean, I beat myself up probably every night for the little things that I know that I didn't do at my best, which maybe no one else would notice.
No,
But yeah, thanks, honey. I'm just gonna, why don't you go ahead and take this?
We approach things very different. She's the in-ear girl, like all artists are. Pretty much they're going to right now. I can't do it. For some reason, I can't function in them. I can't walk in them when you close my ears up. So.
And I must say, I did not use ears before this tour, and I've tried to tell the cowboy, who just give it a few days, because
Right.
you do feel like you're gonna kind of fall over for the first few days. But I think it's been good for me. But you're old school, so.
Yeah, so it's those are different kinds of approaches. I'll watch how she interplays with the crowd, because my thing with in-ears is I'm worried about how much of the crowd you can hear. Even if your monitor guys putting the crowd in your ears, is that really the level they're at, all that stuff. And so we talk about that philosophy all the time. We talk about the philosophy of set lists. We talk about the philosophy of up, down. Do you play ballads even slower in live for more dramatic feel, and do you play up tempo even quicker in live so you can get more of that rush? All those things we go over, and the truth is, it's all up to the crowd always. So you can come in like a sports team. You can have your game plan, but once that whistle blows, you're adjusting to everything as it comes. And that's the fun challenge of it. Yes, sir.
Garth, I'm Charles from KCIL.
How you doing, Charles?
All right. I want to know, since you're talking about set list, I've noticed that you've been doing some covers on this tour. Do you have any specific cover song that you just enjoy playing?
No, just all the things that I like, because one of the questions that you get a lot is, what are you listening to today? And I'm kind of old school, like Sherwood said. So I'll pull out some old school stuff. What kills me is seeing some 17-year-old girl singing something that I was listening to when I was 17. And she's singing every word of it. So that tells you the power of music, the power of those artists. And we'll mention guys that I grew up on, like Strait, Whitley, Skaggs, Randy Travis. We'll also mention guys that I grew up on, like Seeger, and guys like Billy Joel and stuff like that. So we'll mention all that stuff, and you just kind of let the people see who you are. Because that's the thing, especially coming out now, being off 15 years, coming back in, the worst thing that I can do is try and chase something. You just got to be yourself, and if they allow that to happen and the good Lord allows it, so be it. If not, all the money in the world ain't going to buy you another day. So just be thankful for what you got and find what's next in your life. If you wake up breathing, you've got something to do that day. Figure out what it is.
Thank you.
Yes. Everybody good?
One more. You
Yes.
described the job of touring at one point as
Yes.
eating at Taco Bell at 2 in the morning. Is that still part of the job?
Yeah, well, now we're doing 2 shows a night, like Saturday. So now it's switched. When people go, how do you do 2 shows a night? I always say, think if your job is eating ice cream. That's your job. And your boss comes in and pats you on the back and go, hey, you're going to have to pull a double shift tonight. So that's what my life is. That might explain the extra 50 pounds.
A lot of double shifts.
It's been good. So we rolled into Portland. We had 100 shows and 77 nights. So that'll tell you probably about 25% of them have been 2-show nights on these nights, which is fun. Because you talk about coming off stage and you're so wired, and we talked about this for years. You come off stage and you're so wired you got nowhere to go. Well, how you come off stage and you're wired, get ready, because they're going to replace 18,000 and bring brand new ones in who are a little more hydrated, if you know what I mean. So you better hang on to your stuff. Yes, sir.
Bruce Booker with WNOE iHeartMedia here in New Orleans. On this tour, do you get a chance to get in the batting cage and swing a few?
Yeah, we got to in Chicago. Chicago
How
was
you
great.
hitting?
It was just fantastic. Very
Good.
first one just popped it and just watched it and went, dude, that's sweet. It's great. Landed right behind third base. It used to go out.
He did great.
It was good. They stuck me out in center field, and I was good for about 2 or 3 runs, and after that, I was like, damn. So I kind of forget how good a shape you have to be in to play that game. Because always growing up, we always joked it's a fat man's sport, because you don't have to run that much. But man, there's a lot of ground to cover out there, and so those guys are better athletes than all of us give them credit for. Because a lot of those boys are big. We just saw Adam Dunn there in Houston, and he's a big old boy, and you think, but man, he made it all over that field. So those guys are great athletes.
Thank you.
Patricia,
Yes.
where's your book signing tomorrow?
It is Octavia Books, a local bookstore, so I'm excited about that.
And when is that?
It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 1 to 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been trying to mix it up, and every time I've had a book come out, I have tried to find a mixture of kind of the chain stores, and then find some little perfect spot that's there aren't very many real independently owned bookstores anymore. Yeah, so I'm excited about Octavia tomorrow.
Good.
Thank you.
That's been a sweet addition to this tour. We started a foundation for Teammates for Kids the year we quit touring. And so now she gets to do the signings, and we get to do the kids camp, which is it's really good. It gets you out into the community, but it also you get to hear a lot of sweet stories about how the music or how what you do has influenced other people's lives. So it's very sweet.
Garth,
Yes, ma'am.
actually, Shell Armstrong with the Times. The last time that we saw you here in New Orleans, you were doing, you were signing up Chris Paul for.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So what do you think of the unibrow? Anthony Davis, are you giving him any kind of?
Unibrow, has she seen on
Now that
Facebook?
Chris Paul's.
When you say it, Shell, that's very close, because we have a picture, I carry a picture around, I'll show it to you if you like, of
Please don't show
the
it.
first picture we ever took together.
Oh,
We're at
show
a
it.
party together in '87, and we say there's 2 eyebrows between us. You know,
It was early on in the career.
But no, I am not following that whole thing with him and the Mavericks that closely. I am a Chris Paul fanatic, love him to death, and it was great that he actually quoted Edgar Allan Poe, of all people, with a reunion. So I thought that was pretty classy, pretty cool, and I just, those guys, I can't explain those guys. Those guys are so explosive, but yet for some reason when it comes to playoff run, you don't see them. But if they ever, it's like the women's cup team. If they ever put it all together for one game, get ready, because that women's cup team looked like a video game. That first 40 minutes was crazy, and we've always been we've always wanted them to play united. They did, and they showed you what they could do. And I think Clippers same way. If those guys ever unlock it, it's going to be nuts.
If I may, a follow-up. Tricia, how are you able to tour and continue to do the TV show, the books, the other stuff that you've got going?
Very carefully. We used to film, a season of the show is about 26 episodes, and we filmed them in a couple of blocks, about 3 or 4 week windows, which I don't have anymore. So the Food Network's been very kind to say, we'll take them when we can get them. And so on this tour for the past year, there have been a few blocks of time that were maybe 10-day blocks, and we'll take 7 of those days and we'll film 7 shows. So we're just kind of picking it up on the fly, and they're being very kind about it and very patient. But it's a challenge, but it's good. I thought I was going to do it on the road. I actually thought I'll just figure out a way to do the show on the road. But there's just so far there's not, because it takes about 12 hours to shoot an episode. So I can't be like, well, Tricia can't come out and sing her duet because she's filming her show backstage. So I haven't had a chance to figure it out.
It's pretty cool. I mean, like the night she'll go home to sleep, I'll start writing recipes. Start thinking about them in my head.
Right. Last night I was making sweet potato burgers out of the new book, and I had it all together, and
You're really going to tell on yourself?
I'm going to tell on myself because I figure you're about to tell on me. And I'm looking at it and I'm putting it together. I'm like, something's not right. I make them all the time, and something's missing out of the sweet potato burger. And he goes, "Is it sweet potatoes?" Like a joke. And I went, "Oh my God, it is! I left the sweet potatoes out," which were in the fridge, and he got them out. So I'm sure that will come back to haunt me forever. Because this is the guy who, he makes a sandwich, he takes a picture of it, and it's like, look what I made, So now it's going to be, and he'll say, well, I don't have my own cooking show, but this is going to probably come back to haunt me. So I just thought I would go ahead and tell it before you did, because, yeah.
You have learned you have learned much. Oh, young.
Oh my.
Anybody else? Everybody good? Miss Kim, you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I think we should roll over to one-on-ones. So Garth and Tricia, would you